Hello children, I am here again with a continuation of Act 4. We did almost half of it, line 124. You witnessed the mask, which is an illusion performed by the supernatural creatures, where Ariel comes in the form of Ceres. Then what do we see? That these all disappear. Juno and Ceres, they whisper and they send Iris on an employment. They send Iris on some work. Prospero. Sweet now silence. All of you keep quiet. Juno and Ceres are whispering in a serious manner, in a solemn manner. There's something else to do. I think something else is coming. Something else is on the way. Hush and be mute. Keep quiet. Or else our spell is marred. Otherwise the magic spell, the enchantment will be dissolved. Keep quiet. Iris. You nymphs. Iris now calls out to the nymphs, the supernatural creatures, the fairies. There are water nymphs who are called the naiads. After the nymphs coming, who will next be called the reapers. These are also supernatural creatures coming in dressed as farmers, as reapers. After the crop is grown, they cut the crop, they bind them into bundles and they take the corn home. They are the reapers. But they are the farmers actually, but because they are coming for the mask, because they are being called by supernatural creatures to present a show, they come in their best clothes, in their best dresses. They are well attired for this. Iris calls out to the nymphs, you nymphs, you water creatures called naiads of the winding brooks, you who jump about on the meandering, on the wild flowing water, on the brooks, on the small streams, with your sedged crowns. You love to wear crowns made of water plants. Sedges are water plants. Sedged crowns. Now these nymphs, how are they dressed? They have crowns. The water plants intertwined to form a crown around their heads. And ever harmless looks. And you, what kind of looks do you have? You have innocent looks, good looks. Leave your crisp channels. I summon you. I command you to leave the rippling streams. The crisp channels are the rippling, the water rippling, small waves forming, rippling streams. And on this green land answer your summons, because Juno does command. And I command you to come here on this grassy plot, because Juno is calling you. Who is calling? Juno is calling whom? Juno is calling the water nymphs, who are called naiads. Come, temperate nymphs, come, chaste, pure nymphs, and help to celebrate a contract of love, of true love, and come to help in the ratification of a pledge of true love between Ferdinand and Miranda. Be not too late, don't be late. Iris calls the nymphs and then the nymphs enter. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 lines before the nymphs enter. In those 6 lines, Iris is calling the nymphs. That is an invocation to the nymphs. After the nymphs come in, then Iris calls out to the reapers, the farmers. You sunburned sickle men. What do the reapers have on their hands? Sickle. You know, sickle is like a thin blade, half moon shaped, which is used to cut the ripe corn. In Bengali we call it kaste. You sunburned sickle men, you men who carry the sickle because you cut the corn. You are sunburned, why? because you have to work in the fields where the sun is scorching. So your skin is tanned, you are sunburned. Of August very, in the month of August when it is very hot, you are out in the sun cutting corn. So you are tired by the hot rays of the August sun. Come hither from the furrow and be merry. Come away reapers from the furrow of the field and be happy. Come here for merry making. You know what is the furrow? Have you seen agricultural lands? Before sowing the seeds or the saplings, this is how the field is made in a waving manner. The topmost part is called the ridge, and the inner narrow tunnel-like part is called the furrow. So this is the ridge and this is the furrow. Come away from the furrow and be happy, make holiday. You have to enjoy here, merrymaking here. Your rye straw hats put on. Put on your hats which are made of rye. Now rye is a kind of a straw and the crop is somewhat like wheat, R-Y-E, rye. Your rye straw hats put on, and these fresh nymphs encountered everyone in country fooling. Put on your hats and join these lively nymphs in a country dance, in a folk dance. Enter certain reapers. They are properly dressed in their best of clothes. They join with the nymphs in a graceful dance, towards the end whereof Prospero starts suddenly and speaks. And while the nymphs and the reapers are dancing, after some time, Prospero suddenly starts speaking. After which, to a strange, hollow and confused noise, they heavily vanish. And then after some time, the nymphs and the reapers vanish to a strange, hollow and confused noise. There was music being played and the nymphs and the reapers were dancing. After some time, Prospero suddenly remembers something and he starts talking. And then what is the music like? The music is strange, hollow, and it becomes a confused noise. It is no longer music. It is no longer pleasing to the ears. It becomes noise. And to that, Prospero starts speaking and the nymphs and the reapers, they vanish. They vanish into thin air. Prospero now in an aside adopts the technique of aside. So the nymphs and the reapers are no longer there. They go away. Prospero in an aside, I had forgot that foul conspiracy. Prospero is suddenly remembered of the conspiracy, the foul conspiracy that has been hatched by Caliban with two associates. Who are they? Trincolo and Stefano. These three are plotting against his life and he suddenly remembers that so long he was busy with the mask. He was happy to entertain his daughter and future son-in-law. He was in a different mood. Then suddenly he remembers about the threat to his life and he stops everything suddenly. I had forgotten that foul conspiracy of the beast of the devilish Caliban and his confederates and his accomplices and his associates and his comrades. And who are they? Trincolo and Stefano. And they are conspiring against my life. The minute of their plot is almost come. The exact time of their plot to be materialized, of their plot to be fructified, of their plot to be put into practice has come. To the spirits, well done, avoid no more. Who are the spirits still there after the nymphs and the reapers have gone? The some spirits are still there. Those who have come as Iris, as Juno, then Ariel is dressed as Ceres, they are still there. So to the spirits he says, okay, you have done enough for today, now be gone, you did a good job today. Ferdinand to Miranda. This is strange. Now Ferdinand notices the sudden change in Prospero. So long Prospero was in a very prosperous mood, he was in a very pleasant mood, but now suddenly he notices that Prospero has become agitated, very restless. So he tells Miranda, it is strange. There is a sudden change that has overcome your father. Your father is in some passion. Your father is in a fit of strong emotion that works him strongly, and this emotion is making him very agitated. Miranda is also worried because she has also noticed. She says, never till this day saw I him touched with anger so distempered. Never till today have I seen my father moved with so violent an anger. I've never seen him so agitated, so restless, so angry. Prospero, you do look, my son, in a moved sort. Prospero turns his attention to Ferdinand and notices that Ferdinand's facial expression has changed because Ferdinand is worried. What has suddenly happened to Prospero? So long he was fine. Then suddenly what overcame him? So Prospero says, my son, you look in a moved sort. You seem to be somewhat upset. As if you were dismayed. It seems that you are somewhat perplexed, confused. Are you frightened? There's a change in you. Be cheerful, sir. Now, why is Prospero addressing Ferdinand as sir? Now, sir is a very formal way of expression, showing respect to someone. So, in all his formal tone, in his formal way of addressing, he calls Ferdinand sir. Be cheerful, sir. Our revels now are ended. The masque that you were enjoying so long, the illusion that you were seeing, the spirits dancing in front of your eyes with all the music and etc., they are now ended. All the revel, all the merrymaking has ended. Be cheerful, sir. Our revels now are ended. These our actors, as I foretold you, as I told you earlier, these actors performing in the masque were all spirits and are melted into air, into thin air. They were all spirits in front of you. Now they have all vanished into the air. And like the baseless fabric of this vision, and like baseless fabric means nothingness, the airy nothingness of this vision that you saw in front of you. The cloud-capped towers, the high rising towers covered with cloud, the gorgeous, the big mansions, palaces, the solemn temples, the great globe itself, the entire world itself, all which it inherit, all that you see on the surface of this world, the high temples, the palaces, the towers, all this that you see on the earth shall dissolve, and like this insubstantial pageant faded. All these things, the material things that you see on the earth, all these will one day dissolve. All this will vanish like the spirits. And like this insubstantial pageant, like this shadowy vision, they all will fade, leaving not a rag behind, without leaving a trace behind. Nothing will remain behind. So long so many spirits were dancing, were entertaining you. Can you see any of them now? They have all vanished into thin air. In the same way, on the surface of this earth, we find big, marvelous mansions. We find big temples, churches. We find towers covered with clouds. All such things will also one day vanish from the surface of the earth. We are such stuff as dreams are made on. Now this is the model that Prospero draws from the masque, from the illusion. What is the model that he draws? That we human beings are such stuff, are such things as dreams are made of. Now you see, this philosophy is very often repeated in Shakespeare, that our life is like a dream, our life is a show enacted on the stage, our life is like a bubble which will vanish one day. So this is the model that he draws here. We are such stuff as dreams are made on. We are such things like dreams. Dreams are nothing, immaterial. They can vanish any moment. They do not exist in our life. And our little life is rounded with a sleep. Our life is like a dream, surrounded by sleep. Sir, I am vexed. Bear with my weakness. Ferdinand, I am a bit disturbed. I am a bit restless. Please bear with my weakness. My old brain is troubled. Be not disturbed with my infirmity. I am in a troubled state of mind, but have patience with my weakness, with my infirmity, my weakness. If you be pleased, retire into my cell. Now, if you are willing, you can go into my cell, into my cave, you both of you, and can take rest for a while. Retire into my cell and there repose, take rest. A turn or two I will walk to still my beating mind. Meanwhile, my mind is agitated. I need to quieten myself. I need to be at peace with myself. So what will I do? I will just walk up and down. I will pace up and down and settle the restlessness that is in my mind. Ferdinand and Miranda, they both say, we wish your peace. We wish that you may regain the peace of your mind. So we retire to the cell. So Miranda and Ferdinand leave the stage. They are going to the cell. Prospero, come with a thought. I thank the Ariel, come. Now Ariel had gone with the other spirits. Now Prospero calls out, Ariel, come to me as quick as a thought. Ariel, come. Enters Ariel. Ariel, thy thoughts I cleave to. I follow your thoughts very closely, my master. I am always ready to perform as you wish. What is thy pleasure? What do you want? Ariel, yes, my commander. When I represented Ceres, Ariel says, yes, my commander. Who is the commander? Prospero. Yes, my master. When I presented Ceres, means when I acted the role of Ceres, when I represented myself as Ceres, I thought to have told thee of it. I wanted to tell you about the conspiracy of the three. It came to my mind. But I feared lest I might anger thee. But I did not have the courage to tell you at that time because I thought you might be displeased if I tell you during the mask or just after it. Prospero, say again, where did you leave these varlets, these wretched figures? Ariel, I told you, sir, they were red hot with drinking, so full of valor that they smote the air for breathing in their faces. Sir, I told you that they drank so much that their faces were blistering. They were hot, red. Their faces were hot, red, and in their drunken condition, they thought themselves to be very brave, to be very courageous. That is why they struck the air that was blowing into their faces. They thought that the air was doing something wrong, blowing into their faces. So they thought that they are very courageous. They could strike the air. Beat the ground for kissing of their feet. They stamped on the ground because while they were walking, the ground was touching their feet. The ground was kissing their feet. That is why they angrily stamped on the ground. They thought that the breeze has so much audacity, the ground has so much audacity to touch them. So they were striking them back, yet always bending towards their project. Though they were drunken, though they were hitting the ground, though they were striking the air, but not for a single moment did they lose their purpose, their project. Not for a single moment did they forget their project. What was their project? To bring an end to Prospero's life. Then I beat my tabor. Ariel is now giving a commentary of what he did with these three. He says, then I beat on my small drum. Tabor is a small drum, at which, like unbacked colts, they pricked their ears, and hearing the sound of the drum, they erected their ears, alerted their ears like unridden young horses that have not been trained, that have not had a rider. They reacted in that manner. They advanced their eyelids. These three men, they lifted their eyelids, lifted up their noses as they smelt music. They lifted their nostrils also as if they were smelling the music. So I charmed their ears, I captivated, I enchanted their ears, that calf-like they my lowing followed. I captivated their ears to such an extent that they started following the noise that I was producing, the lowing, the noises that I was making. Through toothed briars, through sharp prickles and thorns, through briars, sharp furzes, thorny bushes, pricking gorse and thorns which entered their frail shins. Since they were blindly following the music, they did not look into where they were going, through what they were going. There were prickly shrubs with thorns and such things, and these thorns and shrubs, they pricked into their shins. What are the shins? The calves. The portion of the leg between your knee and your ankle, the back part of your leg. That is the calf, the shins. At last I left them in the filthy mantled pool beyond yourself. Finally I left them in the dirty, scum-filled, filthy, bad-smelling pool which is away from your cell. They are dancing up to the chins. They fell into the dirty water there and they were submerged till their chins here. They were dancing. Dancing means they were throwing their hands and legs apart. That the foul lake overstunk their feet. That the foul lake was more stinking than their feet. Their feet were stinking, but the dirty water of the lake was more bad smelling than their feet. Prospero: this was well done. You did a great job. My bird refers to whom? To Ariel, my pet. Thy shape invisible retain thou still. You are invisible to them. Remain invisible to them for some more time. The trumpery in thy house, the shiny robes in my house. I have some gaudy robes, shiny robes of a magician in my house. Go bring it hither. Go bring the shiny clothes of a magician here. For stale to catch these thieves, because these clothes I will set them as a trap to catch these varlets, these wretched figures, these evil-minded men. Because here Stefano wants to be the king of the island, Trincolo wants to be the viceroy, Caliban wants to be another viceroy. So since they have this desire, this temptation in them to rule over this island, naturally they will be tempted by the shiny clothes of the magician. So he says that bring them from my cell and I will set them on the trees and plants outside my cell, so that they are tempted by the clothes, and then at that time I can teach them a lesson. Ariel: I go, I'll do that. Prospero: a devil, a born devil. Prospero is calling whom a devil? Caliban. You are a born devil, Caliban, on whose nature, on whose wicked nature, nurture can never stick. Nature is here the inborn nature, the characteristic, and nurture is here the training, the civilization that a person receives. So you devil, on whose wicked nature, nurture or training can never stick, training can never help you to be a civilized person, on whom my pains humanly taken all, I have tried my best to transform you into a human being, to imbibe you with good qualities, but all is lost, all is fruitless, quite lost. And as with age his body uglier grows, with advancement of age, Caliban's body grows more ugly. And so his mind cankers. The uglier he becomes physically, he mentally becomes more poisonous. I will plague them all, even to roaring. I will torture them so much that they will start crying, shouting, come, hang them on this line. Hang the clothes on this line, Ariel. Here I will teach them a lesson.